Hello there.
Hello.
Should have just left me up, shouldn't I? But here we go. Tonight we are playing Starblazer Adventures, which was brought out by Cubicle 7 some years ago now. It's a pretty hefty book, considering it's for Fate, which is a very rules-light system. Starblazer Adventures harks back to a series of comic books called Starblazer, which were published in a sort of cycle several times over here in the UK by the same people that did like Commando, I think was the other major one, which was War Story Comics. It was presented in a little mini digest format. It didn't really have continuity. It wasn't like 2000 AD or anything, but that was kind of its charm. So it presented a whole bunch of fantasy and science fiction comic book stories. So as a result, this Starblazer Adventures is a kind of retro toolkit for running space opera games. If you can get hold of a copy, I would recommend getting it. I don't know if you can get it on print on demand. It uses Fate, but it uses the Fate version that uses 6-sided dice. So to resolve anything, you roll 2 dice, you take one away from the other, apply that to your skill level, compare that to difficulty, and that tells you whether you succeed or not. Fate refers to the various fate points and so on, because as heroes, you can bend fate. You can alter die rolls by spending from your fate point pool or access special abilities, all of that sort of thing. But yeah, as a toolkit, very useful. And for me, this hits the sweet spot of the Fate system as a whole. The modern incarnation of Fate, the most recent one, and Fate Accelerated, I find those a bit too wishy-washy, too abstract. Too close to something like Apocalypse World, whereas Starblazer Adventures still has some nuts and bolts and a bit of fidelity, and so for me at least that makes it a more solid system. They did a fantasy follow-up called Legends of Anglaire, which is also good, but to me goes too far in the technical aspect, but doubtless we'll get to playing that at some point in the future as well. Tonight we are playing a kind of Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers film serial knockoff with quite a few cues taken from Warren Ellis's Ignition City and a little bit of Ministry of Space. Though this was another instance where I had an idea and then someone published something that was very close to my idea, so I abandoned my idea. So whether I'll turn this into a game properly in the future or not, I don't know. Enough time has passed, perhaps. Let's introduce our cast of characters. Do you want to introduce your characters, please?
Who wants to go first? Well, I suppose I'll go first. Hello, I'm Witch King, and I am currently playing a Flash Gordon-alike named Alec Villard. He was a World War II veteran who deposed the Daizan Emperor that came into Earth's solar system about a couple of years ago, and now he's adventuring, and these are his compatriots.
Anything else about him?
Oh, he has a lover who is not with us at this moment. He was the star quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. He's kind of just drifting across space, kind of looking for stuff to do because everything since overthrowing the Emperor of Daizan has led to life seeming dull and boring. Is there anything else I should mention?
That's good.
Okay.
I am Saul Kolev, a Jewish scientist, fled Europe for America in the war years, using his rocket knowledge of rocketry to help the Allies when the Daizan interrupted World War II. disprove the rehabilitation of the Nazi scientists. Or is that my goal? I'm sorry. I copied this into Notepad. Yeah, disproving the rehabilitation of the Nazi scientists and continuance of the Reich following the war. I became a recluse, spending my fortune on my own ideas that were dismissed as crank because they were based a bit on the mathematics of the Kabbalah. So think Jack Parsons meets Donnie Donowitz from Inglourious Bastards. And I have a rocket, the Prospero.
Yes.
That would seem to leave me, Prince Volgar. I seem to have, in the transition from the film franchise, I seem to have lost my wings as Prince Voltan and gained whiskers. But hale and hearty fellow, slightly down on his luck, but bluff, I think, is the word to describe me. Bluff. And I have, as a player, absolutely no knowledge of this world whatsoever, so you'll have to forgive me for the slightly hazy backstory.
I am Princess Lord of Sil, it's the forest moon of Dizan. I have no knowledge of the world setting either, so sorry.
You don't really need to. Just think old serials, film serials like King of the Rocket Men and Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, and you're halfway.
I remember watching Flash Gordon when I was a kid. So, yeah, I'm a 27-year-old princess of the Forest Moon who helped lead the revolt against the Emperor. But as a revolutionary, I'm not really trusted to be in power. So, I'm now touring the solar system.
Right. So let's give you the cliff notes on the background. Though I think a lot of what's included has been understood as implied from the characters. So in 1945, picking up on atomic experimentation, both in Nazi-occupied Europe and in America, the Dizan Empire decided that these other planets in the solar system, most particularly Earth, needed sorting out. So they sent their war rocket fleet, which then interrupted World War II. But because the entirety of humanity pretty much was on a war footing at the time, they were able to fight back, cannibalize the technology with the aid of some brilliant scientists, and fight back, foment revolt in a very sort of CIA style on Dizan, which orbits exactly opposite the Earth and is a gas giant with many habitable moons. Foment revolt there and basically overthrow the Empire. However, Dizan forces do remain. There are elements that want to bring back the old Empire. And on Earth, there's an uneasy detente in Europe because the Nazi regime, minus Hitler, remained. Because everyone had to unite against the alien forces that were attacking the Earth. Needless to say, this has upset a lot of people, Saul amongst them. So, yeah, it's kind of an uneasy piece and a lot of disruption to society on Earth because of all the ray gun technology and the rockets and learning you're not the only sentient species in the solar system. Those things tend to mess with people. All of you were heavily involved in one way or another in either the Earth War or the war against Dizan or the revolution or all of the above. And after all that excitement and change, everything otherwise seems rather dull. So...
It sounds like Kalergi's plan of a united Europe.
Yes, sure, why not? One sec. I have one last look to see if T-shirt is joining us. He must be asleep. That's all I can figure. Useless bugger. All right. So, Act 1. You've been trying to get some excitement and so on, hiring on with the League of Worlds, which is a very sort of tentative organization of the various planets and their governments throughout the solar system, to clean up some of the mess from the war in space. So you've been signed up with Saul, crewing his ship, doing what you can, combating space pirates, salvaging dangerous weapons technology and so on, so that other people can't get hold of it. And that's what you're working on right now. The Prospero is currently hanging in space in the Lagrange point between the Earth and the Moon, where a lot of military scrap from various rocket battles has accumulated. So you're currently drifting through that mess, looking for any salvageable tech or dangerous things that shouldn't get into the wrong hands. So, what do you want to do? Out of the portholes on the side of the Prospero, you can see the broken and shattered remains of rockets drifting. Little fragments hit the armor and the shields of the rocket, flaring up from time to time. What do you want to do?
Are any of the rockets of use to our ship? Like anything out of the ordinary?
There may be some experimental vessels and things out there, but you're going to have to work hard to find out. Everything's so smashed and carbonized. A lot of stuff has been pulverized because it's been knocking into each other. But some hulks of the larger rocket ships are much more intact.
Saul, what do you think? Should we look for these potential parts we can add to our ship?
Oh yeah. We gotta build this thing up better. This is a first draft as far as I'm concerned. Keep looking, keep an eye out. I'll be down here in the engine room, still checking on some stuff here.
The engine.
Oh, go ahead.
So the engine room, is of your design, so it's all a bit Heath Robinson. Disintegrating blocks of copper, providing power to the atomic engines. It's all very high tech. But at the same time, you've inscribed most surfaces with weird occult symbols that only you understand, which can be off-putting to anyone else trying to repair it. You do have a grapple system, and you do have an advanced sensor suite.
Oh, so like little arms that come out, sub arms.
Yeah, what was that anime series with the rockets with the grappler arms? Outlaw Star?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so you've got kind of an extendable big robot arm that can come out of the rocket to grapple things. Much better than that stupid tractor beam rubbish.
Does Saul activate the
arm?
No, the stuff to the
sensors.
Sensors. Thank you. Sorry.
Since you're you're a decent enough pilot, Saul has reluctantly given you the permission to futz around with the ship if you want.
Okay. So I flip the switch on the sensors, which are marked with a big red button.
And probably a little bit of tape, with the punch label. It says sensors on it.
And it says, "Do not touch unless given permission."
All right, so yes, you click the toggle switches and press the big red button, and the radar beam starts sweeping around the outside of the rocket, and on the little readout, it flashes up, blips, many blips, because there's lots of junk all around you. And then in tiny little writing next to some of the blips, it shows somewhat what the various constituent parts of those are. So what are you looking for exactly?
I am looking for anything that would be off the beaten path of all of the ships we saw in the war. And
So anything new, experimental, or different?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have a Starship Systems skill, I don't think.
No.
Or Starship Engineering? No. So, roll 2d6.
Okay.
What I normally do is take the first roll away from the second, and I just roll 1 dice, but you can roll 2 dice. Just make sure you're consistent about how it goes.
So I got a 3.
Okay. So +1 for this advanced sensor suite on the ship. So that gives you 4, which is a great roll.
Cool.
Okay. So zeroing in, using the radar, you manage to identify some more exotic elements. Some uranium in half a rocket, a few thousand clicks away from your current position.
Okay, so I will start heading towards those parts.
Okay, which means you've got to pilot through all this junk.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would be so kind as to make a piloting roll.
Okay.
And
that is a 5 total because I have a piloting of 1, a 5, and a 1. No, wait, it's a. I read it wrong. So 1 minus 5 would be -4, right?
Yeah, -4 plus your piloting skill.
So it's 3, a -3.
And plus the ship has a maneuver value of 1.
So
okay, so currently you're crashing the ship. Do you want to spend a fate point for a reroll, or do you have an aspect you can tag by spending a fate point?
Aspect. I don't think any aspect I have would work with this, unless I'm somehow inspiring everyone to put in that much more effort to make this work.
You're inspiring everyone to pay for rocket lessons, but you are of peak physical fitness, so your reaction time might be good.
Okay.
And you were a quarterback. Yeah, quarterbacks have to dodge people trying to tackle them.
Mm-hmm. So I will re-roll then. And I will add in the physical fitness for the bonus.
Okay. Well, spend the fate point and re-roll.
Okay.
How does the ship has its own fate points as well? It says
yes, it does. So you can spend from that pool if you want.
So I got a 4 and a 4, so that's 0. What's the +2, right?
+1 for your piloting skill, +1 for the maneuverability of the ship. This gives you 2. And then if you want to spend another fate point, but you don't really need to, you could then add a bonus from your aspects. But 2 will be enough.
Okay, I'll just spend 1.
Okay. So 2 is a fairly good roll. So you scrape a couple of bits of junk, but the shielding around the rocket ship manages to ward some of that damage off. So you don't even scratch the paint, really. What's Lord and Volga doing? If anything.
Well, Volgar was curled up in a warm spot near the engines or something, but the sort of screech and boom of this near collision caused looks around, scrambles, shuffles down into the thing, and I presume there's some kind of intercom system in this ship.
Yes, mounted on the wall with a toggle switch.
What on earth are you doing?
I will pipe in on my intercom. Yeah, that's a good question there, Alec. Wait, I told you not to. I told you you could have some freedoms around here with the ship where I don't have to stand over your back. But can you not crash it?
Okay. I'm a little out of work with piloting the ship. I've been in dry dock for so long, so I'll just give you a little grace period, okay?
All right. But I'm coming up.
Okay.
Is Lord doing anything?
Yeah, so Lord's gonna offer her piloting skills instead to Alec, but she'll do it quietly in his ear just so that it doesn't embarrass him in front of the others.
Do you wish to cede the pilot's chair to Lord?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I don't want to destroy the ship.
I mean, she's not a particularly skilled pilot, but she's not crashed a ship, so...
Well, you give it a shot there, Lord, okay?
Okay. You bring the Prospero to a halt close to this hulking wreck of a rocket ship. The Dysonian runes for Ajax are just visible through your spotlights, etched onto the side of the ship.
Ajax, like the cleaning product.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, all the ancient Greek hero, depending upon your frame of reference.
Yes.
I was just wondering if it's like a cleaning ship.
According to Saul's advanced radar system, patent pending, yes, there's quite a lot of uranium holed up in this ship, or the half of the ship that remains.
I say we could probably take it, put it in the
Cargo bay?
Yeah, I mean, get back to Earth. It's at least something we can use. Keep powering up the city. Thank God we've embraced nuclear technology.
Yeah, I can't imagine a world where nuclear technology wasn't around.
We'd still be relying on fossil fuels.
I know, right?
So,
Saul, do you want to use the grabbers to get that?
I'll let the pilot. That's a piloting, or is that an engineering role?
That would be a piloting role to get into position, and then a ship's engineering role to use the grapple.
Lord, why don't you try this again?
Okay. Do you want to make a piloting roll to edge in closer?
Well, I rolled 0. So
Okay, so you add your piloting skill.
piloting skill is 1.
Okay, and the ship's maneuvering is +1.
Okay, so that'll be 2.
That takes you to 2. You need a good result to edge in completely safely. So you could spend a fate point for +1, or spend a fate point to tag an aspect that seems appropriate.
+1 would be enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to spend that off the ship's fate points or your own?
How many has the ship got? I'm just scrolling down to it.
The ship has 7 fate points.
Yeah, let's give one of the ship's fate points to this, because it's
Okay.
the ship that needs it.
All right, so you fire some of the electro thrusters, and the rocket moves sideways closer in towards this wreck. Then the proximity alarm bleeps, and a little red light lights up, which gives you enough warning to ease off and edge the tail of the rocket around a free-floating piece of debris. Who's going to operate the grabber? The claw.
I've got a engineering of 2.
Okay. It makes sense for you to do it then.
All right, let's take it in nice and easy. And how is it? I tag something if I want to. Oh, actually, that's a good roll. It might not-
If you feel you need it, yeah, you can spend a fate point to tag one of your aspects or one of the ship's aspects that seems appropriate.
Well, I got a 4 with the first die minus the second die.
Yeah.
And
What's your ship's engineering?
ships, it's a 2, so I add that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And grapple system +1.
7.
7. Yeah. So that's an epic success. With casual and debonair skill, you grab the little joystick and the switches, fire up the grabber. The top of the rocket ship unfolds and opens out, and the big robot arm reaches out, probably with what looks like a human hand on the end of it, because you're more high-tech than most people. You swing the arm out, and more little spotlights light up on the knuckles, and you reach inside the ship, trying to ferret out the block of uranium inside. You're pretty familiar with Dysonian engineering, so you fairly quickly figure out which containment unit has the uranium in it. Being such a dense element, if not used directly for atomic power, uranium is also useful to disintegrate for atomic power. So it packs a lot of power into a small, heavy, inconveniently radioactive bundle. You grab hold of it and start pulling it free of the ship. Cables and restraints and things snap under the force of the titanic claw. You've got it about halfway out when those of you on the bridge are suddenly deafened by all manner of alarms going off.
I didn't do anything.
No. I'm gonna check the computer or the sensors. Is there anything nearby?
Make a ship systems roll with a bonus of +1 for the advanced sensor suite.
Can't spend after the fact, right? For fate
You can.
points? Okay.
You can.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what edges I can apply here. So it's my ship. Can that be that's a
Is that an aspect?
one? Oh, aspect of my character.
You can if you just want to spend 1 for 1, you can do that anyway. You don't need a reason.
Natural born genius.
Yes, a natural born genius would be a great aspect for this. So you spend 1 fate point, and then you add 2 to your result.
I'm also going to add intuitive grasp of technology.
Okay, that's another fate point.
Oh, I got to spend for each. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do both of those. And I'll use 1 from the ship and 1 from myself.
Okay. So, what's your total?
That's still a 2. All right. If I spend
so you got
1
2.
more, yeah, I'm going to keep it as a 2.
Okay. You have rolled poorly.
Yeah. 2 and a 4 on the die.
So that was -2. Then you tagged 2 aspects. So yeah, that takes you to +2. You get +1 for the advanced sensor suite. So that gives you 3. And your skill with ship systems is 1 as well. So that's a total of 4, I believe.
All right. Better than 2.
Much better than 2. Okay, that's a great result. Okay, looking at this readings, these readings, it looks like you're at the early end of a big solar flare, which has created a cosmic storm is about to sweep through this area.
Is that going to fry the ship? What are the consequences of being caught in a solar flare?
Because this bears little relation to actual real physics, what is likely to happen is that a lot of this junk will be stirred up and will shift position. So there'll probably be a lot of collisions. So you'll be at risk of that. The massive electromagnetic charge may weaken your shields, and it will probably cause electricity, sort of space lightning, to crackle between the remnants of the rockets here.
Lord, can you get us out of here? We got a solar flare coming. I think we'll have to circle back.
Yeah, sure. I'll take us out of here.
Are you dragging the humongous block of uranium with you, or are you going to leave it behind?
Oh no, I'm dragging that with us.
Well,
Okay, I was letting go of that because I figured that would not be good to be hit with lightning while holding a whole bunch of uranium on our ship.
Okay. Can Lord make a piloting roll then, please, to escape any damage?
Sure. Two on the dice, plus my piloting is 3.
Plus the maneuver makes 4, which is a great success, but not quite good enough. You're going to take a small amount of damage on your way out, unless you want to spend a fate point.
Yeah, go on then. Let's spend a fate point.
From the ship?
Why not?
Okay.
We're down
I'm
to
just going to
4.
go through all of the fate points on the ship.
All
But
right.
we've all got our own individual fate points, so once the ship's ones are gone, we can just use them.
Yeah, you can spend your fate points on the ship, but only vice versa when the ship could potentially help you in some way. Like if you took damage when the ship was taking damage, you could spend from the ship's fate points to protect you, that sort of thing. Okay, so yeah, you release the block of uranium and start pulling the claw back into the ship. Lord hits the thrusters and tries to move out of the debris field. As you're on your way out from all the whirling scrap, it starts to crackle. Electricity and cosmic lightning crackles between different parts of it. The energy seems to drain your shield systems a bit, and so you do clonk into a couple of pieces of debris that your shields can't repulse because they're being jammed by the cosmic storm. So you've scratched the paint, but no real significant damage. But you managed to lift yourself up out of the plane where the junk has collected and sit above it all, with hissing and crackling and popping coming through all your different speakers as the interference passes through the ship, giving you all a nice dose of radiation into the bargain. You're gonna have to hunker down for a while until the storm passes. Can you make alertness rolls, please, everybody?
I don't have alert skill. Come on.
Do
That's
matches?
because
I got
matches just a 0.
I got a 3.
Okay.
I've got -1.
0 alertness skill 2. I will spend 1 fate point to invoke a hunter's instinct, so 4 in total, I believe.
Okay.
I'm too busy eyeing up Dash.
In his leather flight trousers.
0.
0. Okay. So, Volgar, Yeah, you don't like being cooped up in a tin can with a radioactive storm raging around you. So it's put you extra on edge. But in amongst the hissing and crackling and popping of the radiation passing through the speaker and intercom systems, your ears perk up, and you recognize human Morse code hidden in the radioactive static. It's an SOS signal and some coordinates.
He was still down, sort of in somewhere obscure and out of the way, leaving these people with opposable thumbs to do what they do. But yes, at this point he will get. I say, any of you hear that?
Do I hear that with a 3?
Once your attention is brought to it, you can pick it out on your military experience. Yes, that's Morse code.
Saul, quiet. This is Morse code.
Oh, all right. Can I attempt to? Oh, you said it was SOS. All right. Anything else in there?
And some coordinates. Yeah.
Okay. Skills. That would be academics to figure out where that's at.
Everything's pretty loosey-goosey, so yeah, academics seems like a good enough fit to me. I would also accept starship piloting, navigation, those sorts of things, but academics is fine.
Or getting back, I'm going to try science.
Stunts, do you have to spend a fate point to use?
It depends on the stunt. It should tell you if it needs it. No, you get +1 to all astronomy-related rolls. So, yeah, that would count.
I just need to get 2 more points out of here to get a 3. I'm going to use a fate point. Can I use the ship's fate point for intuitive grasp, or can I use a ship fate point for my aspects?
It would depend on the aspect.
Intuitive.
I mean, it's your technology in the rocket, so
Okay.
yeah, I'd let you use it for that. So ship's fate point.
And I'll spend one of mine for genius, and that brings me up to a 3.
Okay, you need to start rolling better.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay, so yeah, you listen to the hisses and pops, the dars and dits, and you scribble down the coordinates and check it against your computer navigator. It's suggesting a particular spot in the whirling gyre of starship and rocket ship remnants. So one of the larger wrecks from the sound of it. You've never gone that near it before because there's warning beacons all around it. But the SOS seems to be coming from within it.
It seems like somebody's in that large wreck, or at least something. I think we should go check this out. Somebody's in danger. Hopefully, they're not dead. No.
So we just flew away from danger and now we're flying back into it.
Well, we didn't have a reason to go back, and now we do.
Come on, Lord. Hasn't everything been boring since the war ended? Come on, let's go do this. We'll get some more life infused into us.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's boring and there's dead.
And there's that little space in between where everything's better.
No. Same thing. Come on! And he's Volgar is literally bouncing up and down in what could only be described as a Tiggerish manner. Come on!
I'll let you take control, Dash.
Okay, I'll take control. Are you
Okay.
all piloting for this?
You do, and the storm is still raging, so this is going to be quite difficult.
Okay. Then
Would he get any bonus if he sat on my lap?
could I add Defiant to the last for a bonus?
Um,
Define the gravity of the situation and the storm and
well, invoking your defiance would really be in situations of certain death. So,
okay.
not really, no.
Well, let's see. What else can I do? Can I just spend a fate point to add a +2 like you could in Fate Core?
You can spend a fate point to add +1,
Okay.
or you can invoke an aspect for +2.
What aspect would make sense though?
Star quarterback, peak physical fitness. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll use
From
Star
the ship.
this time.
From the ship, you could invoke finest German engineering or tough little ship.
Star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be if people were enthused about your performance? Would that work? Because Volgar's going to be standing behind you going, yes, yes, come on, yes, yes, go!
Well, I'm still
Go.
I'm gonna spend the fate point to invoke my star quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals aspect. So let's see how this goes. That is a 1.
Okay, so you add your piloting skill.
Yep, and that is a 2, and then the star quarterback is a +1, so that's 3 total.
+2.
Oh, +2, so it's 4.
And +1 for the maneuverability of the ship.
5.
And then you've got Prince Volgar cheering you on and jumping up and down.
So 6.
He has a leadership skill, so I will allow an additional +1.
Okay, so 6 total.
Okay, so despite the raging storm and the lightning bolts crackling across the outside of the ship, you dive back into the whirling mass of junk, picturing it as if you were back on the sports ball field, twisting and turning the rocket in and around and through some of the big bits of wreckage, probably causing everyone else to have a brown trousers moment. Then you come whooshing past one of these warning beacons that has been left. You know, as it feebly radios to the ship, "No, don't!" And you hurtle in towards the hulk of the rocket carrier, the Hoon, or what is left of it. Once you're in the kind of gravity shadow of this wreck, you're protected from the worst of the electromagnetic radiation and the whirling debris. So things calm down and you slow the rocket to a crawl. So this was a gigantic, rounded, saucer-shaped craft originally, and then it was broken in half. So it looks like an enormous metal half-moon. Its exterior was decorated in gold and red, the ostentatious colors of the Daizan Empire. Now it's a burnt-out wreck.
So, do we have any, like, EVA suits?
Yes.
Okay.
Spacesuits.
That too. I'm used to the more high-tech sci-fi. Okay, so I say to everyone, let's go get those suits on. We'll head out. Who's going to stay behind to keep the ship going?
Is the robot here?
We can say the robot's here.
All right. Robot.
Yes, master.
Keep an eye on things. We're going.
I do not have any eyes, master.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Very well. I shall continue flailing my claws ineffectually.
All right.
Would you like some toast?
Not at the moment.
Do the doors on this ship also sigh when you open and close them?
No. All right. So the humanoid crew clamber into their spacesuits, ready for an EVA. You've probably got a rocket sled or something that you can use to scoot over.
Probably have a couple of them for all of us, or like two at least, so you can fit like two people on them or something.
Yeah.
Then I get on the rocket sled, look to Lord, look at the rocket sled.
You want me to come with you on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, I think we're all gonna have to cram into the rocket sled.
Well, I think we decided you've got two of them.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you move away from the Prospero. Saul, looking back, you see all the burn and scoring marks from the lightning bolts and a couple of small collisions. That's going to need repainting.
Rough draft.
That was right out.
All right. The little spotlights light up on the front of the rocket sleds, and you scoot slowly over towards this enormous cliff-like wreckage of the side of the Hoon. There's all kinds of twisted cables and conduits and bits of framework sticking out. Can the people who are piloting each of the rocket sleds please make an alertness roll?
And
Okay.
Saul is probably going to have to take this at penalty since Volgar is clasping him so tight, almost cracking his ribs, hanging on for dear life.
Oh,
All
no.
right.
That's a 0. 0 for me.
Okay.
So +1 for my piloting.
No, this is just alertness.
Oh, I don't have that one. Still 3, unless I'm taking that -1 from Volgar.
No, to be generous, no. Okay, so Dash is distracted by the svelte form of Princess Lord pressed up against his back in her skin-tight spacesuit. However, Saul, while distracted by his own mind, wandering away into calculations and thinking about paint jobs for the rocket, does eventually sort of come to as you approach the side of the Hoon, and you notice a small blinking light on the sort of bottom right-hand corner of the wreckage. Something still has power.
Let's approach that cautiously. Figure
Are you
out.
gonna tell Dash?
Yeah, I'm gonna point. I'm gonna point out. Or we have comms. I'll be say below. There's a small light. Just sort of giving him like sort of a reference of where it's at. Just over explaining. Like look for the light. Look for the light. Look for the light. No, not there. Not there.
You can't see the light, but you can see Saul's rocket sled, so you can follow that down. So yeah, you dip the rocket sled and fly down towards the blinking light. Yeah, there is just the tiniest little light blinking away. What's odd is that it's on the end of a human-made and American-made airlock that seems to have been hurriedly and somewhat crudely welded onto the side of the Hoon.
Didn't hear anything about this. Alec, you want to take point or Dash?
Yeah, I'll take point. And so I take point, and I enter the ship.
Okay. Well, you move up to the airlock, and it stubbornly refuses to open automatically for you. There is a big locking mechanism on the opening crank, which appears to be 4 digits on tumblers that you can click through.
Oh, I can
Okay.
figure this out.
Yeah, he gives it over to Saul.
1 1 1 1 1. Okay, 1 1 1 2. I'm gonna roll for hacking.
It's mechanical. You can't hack it. Intuitive grasp of
Okay.
technology would work. Or stand back. I'm going to try science.
If it
All right.
counts as mystery, I'd get +2 on it.
Mm.
I'm going to use stand back. I'm going to try science.
Okay.
And do I add my science skill to that?
You're applying science to it, so yeah.
All right.
And +1 for physics as well.
+1 for physics.
Because you're a scientific genius when it comes to physics.
And
so what have you got?
add 11, if I'm doing that right. Add the 5 for science, add the 2 for the aspects, and then a 6 minus 2 is a 4.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you stare at the lock for a moment and then grab some of your, personal esoteric tools off the side of the rocket sled and hold a big electromagnet up next to the locks and start fiddling with some dials and things. The dials rapidly click through 1, 2, 3, 4, the same combination an idiot would have on their luggage, and then it unlocks. But you've powered up the electromagnet so much that it rips the entire locking mechanism off the airlock door, miraculously leaving the actual airlock mechanism intact. You can now make ingress.
Then I enter first.
Okay. Dash moves in ahead. It's a cargo style airlock door, so there's room for all of you to get in if you so wish.
Okay.
Yep, following.
Crank it closed, press the big button. Your suits stop being quite so inflated as the air pressure normalizes. So in theory, there's now breathable atmosphere in here, and the inner door clunks and opens.
Volgar immediately takes off his helmet.
It smells like plants, but there's something else, a chemical tang, like a doctor's clinic or the dentist's office.
Taking my helmet off, can I pinpoint that chemical?
Yes, you can try. Make a science roll.
There we go. It's a -3 plus 5 is a 2. And I will spend another fate point. Can you get these back at any
Yes, if I impose something bad on you or you do something heroic, you can get points back. So actually, yeah, Dash should have gotten a fate point for that genius piloting maneuver.
Okay. So I will add another fate point to my pile.
Yeah. So what was your total then?
I'm
3
at
again.
5 now.
3. You can't quite place the chemicals, but the smell, there's starch and S. tuberosum, or the common potato?
Potatoes.
The
I guess they've
Irish.
got.
I'm
Alright.
going to take my helmet off. There are plants here.
Yes. So even if they're only potatoes, the smell of plant life makes you think of home on the forest moon.
We should
Are there
find
potatoes on the forest moon of Siam? I guess I'm
Yeah,
asking
the
for it.
human brought them.
Oh, I
Humans
figured there would have
bring
been some
potatoes
analog
everywhere.
on Siam.
Some kind of tuber.
Mm-hmm.
But we should find these potatoes and have a chat with them.
Sure. Let's look at it like that.
Is Lord actually a plant person?
I can speak with plants.
Okay, so you're probably a plant person.
Oh, so I would have known that. I thought that was just a little bit of alien miscommunication.
Well, you know, she
All right.
says she can talk to plants.
Never
so,
seen it.
You know, and one should always humor a beautiful woman.
Is there any like terminals on the walls? Anything I can take a look at?
Okay. You push open the door. Inside the airlock is what looks to have once been, God knows what, on the on the original ship, but it has been stripped out ever since, and is full of cages on little wheels, so they can be wheeled about in the artificial gravity. There doesn't seem to be anything in the cages right now, but there's quite a lot of them. There's also a few empty crates which seem to have been brought from Earth. Some of them have English words, stencils on the side, various supplies. They look to be chemicals of various kinds. And some others have stencils on the side in what seems to be Spanish, with the same kind of materials and so on.
Volgor rushes up to the cages and starts sniffing them.
Okay. Do you have any special abilities or anything?
Well, alertness, survival.
Yeah.
Just for skills.
Alertness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hunter's instinct or nature read in tooth and claw for aspects.
Hunter's instincts would work as an aspect if you end up deciding you want to.
Okay, so that's +1. Alertness we said is 3. Do I want to spend a second fate point at this point? Yeah, I think I want to find out about this. So that'll be 5 in total with the spending of a fate point.
Okay. So that gives you a supoid result. All right. To your Tiger Man senses, there have been living things in this cage. Men, but not men. Something is terribly wrong about them. They're not natural.
Don't like this.
What is it?
Smell that? Smell that?
Just the potatoes.
Potato, some kind of fucking potato. There's a fucking obscure reference. Big Train, for those of you who know. Potatoes. No. Here. Can't you? Oh, I forget. You apes. No, look. In here. Point, rattling the cage.
Who are you calling an ape?
Yes, I'm sorry. I do defer to the woman who can speak with tubers. Something's not. Yes, like you, but wrong. Can't quite put my paw on it.
Do you mean like something alien beyond what we are?
Human, but wrong. Mutants. Some kind of mutation.
Maybe we can call them chuds. Except they're not underground, so never mind.
Well, still, I'll know it again if I come across it.
Does it smell like potato people?
Not really, no.
Okay.
All right. So there are exits out of here. Various ladders up and down different levels through the ship. Automatic doors to larger corridors. The ladders and things don't seem worn. The paint is still somewhat fresh on those, but the corridor doors are chipped and look like they've been used a lot.
Which way does the smell of vegetables seem to be coming from?
It seems to be stronger from the interior doors.
Well, I suggest we go this way. We need to talk to the plants. They'll be able to shed some light on this.
Okay. He's good. Saul will just immediately raise a finger and then just stop and just go with it.
It could be
All
that
right.
the plants were the source of the distress signal.
Potatoes don't usually get distressed, in my experience.
Oh, they get distressed though. All right. Would you want to be eaten?
No, but do you photosynthesize? I don't know. Is that not a fair question? Well, we got to eat something.
Do I photosynthesize? I've got green skin, so probably.
Probably, yeah. And absorb nutrients from dirt or something. Yeah. A bit of nitrogen and some water and sunlight, and you're good. But no carrot deaths on your conscience. Okay, so who's taking the lead then?
I am.
All right. So you approach the doors, and they hiss open. Inside is a corridor, and there are bright electric lamps beaming away from the ceiling on quite high power, so you kind of blink for a bit. Someone has filled the space on either side of the corridor with grow trays and bags and things with potato plants in various stages of growth stuffed in everywhere. So as you pass inside, you're kind of brushed on both sides by the leaves of these potato plants. And they seem to stretch ahead as far as you can see down this corridor to another door on the opposite end. There seem to be another couple of doors either side off here. And through those, you can glimpse rack upon rack of additional potato plants growing.
Do I see anything out of the ordinary besides potatoes, like any extra large pots, human sized at least, or humanoid size?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
There is an earth wheelbarrow full of potatoes, sort of half in, half out of one of the side doors.
Does the potato look like it's ready to eat?
You probably want to cook it first, but other than that, yes.
Then
Though they're somewhat anemic potatoes. The conditions up here aren't particularly great for potato growing.
well, I'll still take some of them and put them in a pack so I can eat them on the ship and cook them there.
Boil them, mash them.
Yeah, exactly.
But Lord, can we Do these potatoes have anything to say?
I'll have to perform a short ritual to be able to speak with them.
Similar
me
to
a
what
few
you
moments.
do, Saul, right?
I'll take
Well, yeah, a little bit. Not exactly familiar.
I'll take a potato in my hand and raise it to, well, it would be the sky, but we're in space, so there isn't a sky.
Sky is everywhere.
Yeah, the sky is all around us, and call on the spirit of Gaia. Give this potato the ability to speak to me.
Okay.
I'll hold the potato to my ear.
All right. The
It's-
potato whispers to you its wisdom. Its many brothers and sisters are raised here to be fed to the men who are not men, who stalk the corridors of this great ship of the stars.
O wise potato, which way are these men who are not men?
These men who are not men may be found deeper in the ship when they do not come to our death camps to slaughter us.
So should we go that way? And I'll point further down the corridor.
Oh, fair princess of the green, I pray that you flee. Go on without me. Leave
It's
this horrible
okay.
place at once, lest you meet the fate of many a potato.
It's okay. I will avenge your brothers and sisters, fair potato. You'll rest now.
May the
Rest
green
in
May
the
the
dirt.
green bless you, and may your body be full of starch.
So this wisest of plants says that there are men who are not men who are found deeper in the ship. It says we should flee.
Well, obviously we shouldn't flee now. Now that it said that, we have to go down into the ship.
Oh, I have promised to avenge the deaths of the potato's brothers and sisters.
Well, good.
So when it was one of us meat people that we could go to save them, but the potatoes we gotta avenge.
Well, these people who are not people have eaten many of these potatoes' brothers and sisters.
I trust
Alex,
that at this point, Dash is kind of hastily concealing this bag of potatoes behind his back, right?
Let's keep an open mind. Remember, we need to eat potatoes to live. It's the cycle of life.
If it comes to it, Kolev, I'll eat you before I eat one of those bloody things.
Yeah, I'm just glaring at Saul.
Is Prince Volgar a carnivore as well? Because he's a cat person?
Absolutely.
Obligate carnivore. And it's best of all if it's still wiggling. Right, just give me a sec. All right. So, yes, through your plant telepathy, you have a vague kind of idea of which direction these men that are not men are from.
I suggest we go that way, and I'll point in that direction.
I go that direction.
Okay, so you pass through a few more corridors, following the sense, the vague sense that the potato gave Lord, which probably makes the rest of you who aren't Lord feel a bit silly, navigating your way around a Dysonian space carrier on the word of a potato, but nonetheless. The interior sections do seem to have power and increasingly you're hearing the thrum of that power in the bulkheads of the ship, and seeing more and more tubes and pipes, some of which seem to have been added or repaired, and they all seem to be channeling power or chemicals and things all in the same direction. So you're passing through one of these big rooms full of tubes and pipes. It's like a auxiliary engineering hub. There's a couple of Dysonian computer banks on a raised platform in the middle. Can you make alertness roll, please?
Okay. That is a 0.
I got a 1.
-4.
4 in total, but I haven't spent any aspects yet, and I don't want to metagame it because. So that's it.
Well, you only need to get higher than 0, which many of you didn't manage to do, but Volgar got the highest. So as you're passing through this chamber, sort of looking at all the pipes and things, it's a bit darker in here. It's got that grimy engineering hold sort of feel to it. But Volgar, that weird chemical smell that you detected before, it's much stronger, and your slit-like cat pupils open up hugely in the dark to draw in as much light as possible, and you see a strange-looking man and some compatriots sort of half hiding behind some of the pipes, peeking over to look at you.
So those of the crew who've spent any time with him will recognize the slow flick, flick, flick of the tail. And he actually goes down onto his haunches and growls.
All right. Your growl is met by a roar and a bunch of weird, mutated-looking men with bright pink skin and no body hair, no navels, no genitals, come leaping and hurtling their way from behind the pipes, descending upon you from all directions. But thanks to your magnificent senses, you are not surprised. Initiative rolls, which is an alertness roll, please.
Okay.
Tell me what you get.
2.
I got a 0 again.
I got a 1, but I definitely want to spend an aspect here for an aspect here.
Okay.
Nature red in tooth and claw. Spring forward. Yep.
So that raises your initiative to 3.
Yes.
What did Saul get?
A 2.
And what did Lord get? Simon, what did you get for initiative?
You're muted.
Sorry, I didn't realise I was muted. -1.
Okay. Right. Okay, so maybe half a dozen, maybe more of these weird, bright pink, plastic-looking men leaping out over the pipes to descend upon you. Volgar, however, was in a state of cat-like readiness, and so is able to act first and intercept them should he wish.
And that's exactly what I'll do, bounding on all fours right into the middle of them, so that they are on all sides of me. Die!
Okay.
Turning down my volume.
All right. So we need a combat skill for you to roll.
Fists seems appropriate.
Fists does seem appropriate.
Okay, so that is +2 on the dice, +4 for fists. I have, if I'm outnumbered, I get, it's +1 defense, so I guess that doesn't matter. But I do +1 stress damage against multiple enemies as a stunt, no cost for that.
Yeah.
And if I tag an aspect in combat, I do an additional +1 damage. So 2, so that's 2, what did I say? 2 on the dice, 4 for fists. I'm going to tag nature, red in tooth and claw. So that's 8.
So that gives you +2.
8. So it's 8 in total, I believe. And I get +1 damage for tagging an aspect in combat.
Yeah.
I assume.
And you get +1 damage if you hit for your natural weapons.
Yes.
So that will be a total of 10 then, right?
Assuming it's all just folded into one attack and damage roll on the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. You leap forward, land in the middle of them with your claws extending and rip and rend and tear around yourself. They're tough, a lot tougher than normal humanoids are, but they still rip and tear under your claws. They don't seem to contain blood vessels. They're just their whole innards seem to be somewhat spongy or run through with little tubules, but you manage to rip enough chunks off them to cripple or kill 3 of them in a single attack. This is what you do. You're good at it. Right. Saul.
All right. Gonna take out my 38. And I'm gonna start blasting. Now,
Okay.
can I add my scientific genius physics to this, because shooting a gun is a physics related role? Or am I getting too annoying with these fishing for bonuses?
If you were doing a trick shot or something, then
yes,
I would let you, but you're just blasting away. So
all right. That's a 3. Just add guns. Yeah, 3.
okay. Is that so? That is with the guns added on. It's 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking for anything else here that could apply. No, that's all.
Okay. In which case, you blaze away with your pistol. Well, this being kind of old film serial territory, that probably just means holding your gun and going. But you completely fail to hit any of them. They're swinging and leaping and moving through the pipes. One of your shots hits one of the pipes and bursts it open, and a jet of cold, misty gas comes hissing out of it. Right. Three of them try to fight back against Volgar, and 2 of them close on Dash.
Okay.
So
Can I try? Oh, go ahead.
wait a sec. So can Volgar make a defense roll, please? The athletics to dodge.
Athletics is 2. So on. Ooh, that's not good. -3, -1. When outnumbered, I get +1 to defense, so I'm on 0. This is getting a little dodgy, but I think I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to invoke Hunter's Aspect for 2 more points to give me some kind of reflexive, instinctual dodge and duck.
Yeah.
So 3 in total.
So that.
Sorry, no, 2 in
3
total.
in total. 2 in total.
2.
Okay, so you take 2 health damage from being battered by these weird-looking pink men.
2 health. Now, can I cancel that out by taking a minor consequence?
You can. Taking a minor consequence reduces the damage by 2. But we need to think of a consequence. You are dazed from being punched in the jaw.
Okay, what does that do? Gives me -1 to something for duration?
So it's an aspect that I can invoke on behalf of the baddies.
Gotcha.
Or force on you to make things slightly more difficult for you.
Cool. All right.
Okay. And the remaining 2 leap on dash. So I need a defense roll from dash.
Okay. Where is defense? Do I not have it?
Be athletics to dodge.
Okay. Which I have a 5 in.
Yeah.
That is a 4.
Okay. So they leap at you inhumanly strong inhumanly strong and tough, but you manage to ward them off with your brawny arms and toss them back, and they try to recover and close on you again if they live till next turn. And it's your go.
Okay, I am going to use my fists and pummel these things until they die.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Okay. That is a 1, 2, 0, 3, 4. So that's a -6, I think. Because I got a 2 for my the die that I count first and 4 for the second one.
So that would take you to -2. But what's your brawling skill?
+3.
Okay, so that would take you to +1.
And then I want to spend a fate point to use peak physical fitness.
Okay. So that'll take you to +3.
And I think that's all I can do.
Okay. And you're using your fists, so I don't think they add anything to damage. Do you have any other
I have a survival
abilities?
knife. I have a
You
survival
could use your knife if you want.
Yeah, I'll use my knife.
Okay.
I don't seem to have a gun on me. That's a shame.
Yeah. You have to take one when you can get one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these things swing at you. You ward them off, then grab your knife from your belt, sliding it free of the leather, and stab one of these things through its eye. It gives a horrible hissing shriek and twitches a bit and then goes still.
Hit them in the eyes!
Right, Lord.
I'm going to shoot them.
With what?
I'm not sure they deserve to be killed, but with my gun, bolt slinger.
Okay.
Or range 3.
Yeah, think Chewbacca, bowcaster.
Yep.
Okay, so that's +4 damage if you do hit. So it's a guns roll to hit.
Okay.
Are you going for the one by Dash or the ones fighting Volgar?
The one by Dash.
Okay.
So I've got a 1 after adding the guns thing. That's not going to do anything though. So
that is enough to hit.
Is it?
Yeah. So and then +4 damage for a hit. So yeah. So Dash drags his blade out of the skull of the first dead man, turns towards the other, just in time for you to bring up your bolt slinger, and fire a bright green bolt of plasma into it, burning a head-sized hole through its chest. It's thrown back against the bulkheads and a big pink splat. Right, Volgar, you are facing 3 of these creatures.
Okay, so I'm outnumbered. That's a good thing. It's 2 plus 4. Fists for 4 is 8. Plus I'm outnumbered. Plus 1 stress damage. I don't know whether that's damage, but plus 1 stress
Yeah, that's
damage.
damage.
Yeah. So if we're just folding this all into one roll, that is 9. And unless you're going to award me a fate point for charging into half a dozen enemies,
I will.
okay, I'm still not going to spend one. I just wanted to get an idea of the budget. So 9 in total.
Okay.
No, 10. Sorry, 10 plus natural weapons.
Okay. Right. I am invoking your dazed aspect to drop that to 8. Then did you add in the damage for your claws yet?
Yes, that's counting.
Okay. Right. So your head is still ringing from the blow that punched you in the side of the face, but you whirl on one of them, sort of blink away the double images, then decide, yeah, I can't blink away the double images, so I'll claw both of them, which seems to work quite well. You bear another one of them down to the ground and tear his throat out with your fangs. Saul, there are 2 left standing over Volgar.
I've got an idea here. Can I shoot the pipes to release the jet of that ice cold steam, whatever it is, hopefully either distracting them or injuring them?
Yes, you can.
All right. And I can use that +1 for this, right? Because it's trick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Five.
Okay. Right. If you have a D4 handy, roll a D4.
1 sec. 1.
Okay, so yeah, you shoot the same pipe, and a jet of icy cold, whatever it is, comes spraying out of there and directly into one of these creatures. You see the frost form on the surface of his skin, and he just sort of freezes up, trying to back away, and then tumbles over the too short safety rail and shatters into pieces on the floor below.
Nice.
Leaving one who tries to stamp on Volgar. So make a defense roll for Volgar, please.
+1 on the dice. And it's athletics, so that's 3. Tough hide, which I think I probably should have applied last time, which I forgot.
That will reduce from the damage afterwards.
Oh, okay. So what did I say? 1, 2, 3 in total, I believe.
Okay. So he lands a blow on you, but it's completely ineffectual. It just bounces off your tough hide. Huzzah for leathery skin. Right. Dash.
Yes.
What do you want to do? There's one left fighting Volgar.
Okay, I want to use my might and pummel it to death.
Okay.
So I'm gonna like run up to it, do some football maneuvers, and then just like boom, boom, right in the thing's head.
Okay. All right.
That is a 3.
Okay. Right. Yeah. You come barreling into the thing, knock it away from Volgar, and then beat it to death with your meaty fists. Unless you want to render it unconscious, it's your choice. You can kill things or take them out.
I was not known for my smarts during the war, so I'll kill it.
Okay. Yeah. You carry on the beating on its bright pink face until something inside gives with a crunch, and its flesh turns into the consistency of taffy under your fists. They appear to have all been dealt with.
He looks around. He's like, I have a strong temptation to taste this, but I don't want to die.
Well, Volgar's already licking himself clean, so you'll soon find out whether it's toxic, or at least for me.
Well, cats like chewing plastic, and that's kind of what it tastes like to you.
Somebody's going to need to get out a ball of string and to drag me away from this.
I'm gonna take a look at the. Oh, sorry.
I was just you hear briefly some banging on the pipes in the distance and some wordless moans and screams from other parts of the ship, but they quickly go quiet. Carry on.
I'm going to take a look at these strange creatures. Is there anything I can discern biologically from them?
Biology isn't your field as much, is it?
I went to school, though. But you are right.
He's
At the end, you are a genius.
Yeah, a natural-born genius.
Natural-born genius.
If you would I have to spend a point to use that, or just?
It's still science, so yeah, make a science roll. See what you get.
4.
Is that with the +5?
Yes, I rolled 2 1s. Or wait,
Okay.
no, that's just a 5 because it's a 0. My bad.
Okay.
I was a bit overzealous with my fate point, so I'm being very stingy now.
Okay. So 4 then, yeah.
Well, the 1 and 1 would just cancel out, so it would
Cancel
just be
out
a
to 0,
5. Yeah.
So 5, which is a superb result.
Nice.
Okay. They are tall, muscular humanoids that don't seem to have any individual organs, particularly, other than their eyes, maybe a few other bits, but otherwise their insides are mostly sort of one big general mass, almost like they're a colonial organism like coral or a sponge or something like that. The material they're made of appears to be artificial. There's a visible seam running all the way down around their body, like they've been kind of pressed in a mold or something. But despite that, each one has its own individual shape. They're all slightly different. They're not perfect by any means. No navel, no genitals. So you're not sure how they reproduce or how they gestate.
Molded men. Oh, I think these. I will declare these are golems. 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 If you want to say it.
And is their sort of aroma familiar from the cages?
Yes, it's the same aroma.
Uh-huh. See, men, but not men.
They're a bit starchy as well.
These
Might as well
who
be
the
bloody potatoes.
Wait, human potatoes?
Hutatoes? Pumans?
Humans.
But the potatoes said that they eat potatoes. That would make them cannibals.
So they are chuds. Chads. Astronomical. Cannibalistic, astronomical, humanoid. I forget what the D stands for.
Dwellers.
dwellers, humanoid dwellers. Whatever's screaming, I think we should go that way, unless the potato says otherwise.
Does the potato say otherwise?
The potato's been put back in the dirt. I could
The
ask another one.
The potato's guidance would take you on past this chamber, following the way that the pipes and power conduits were heading.
Yes,
Alright,
that does seem the sensible way of going.
All right. So next set of doors hiss open, and this appears to be leading into an old sort of lower decks barracks type situation. There is a little sort of mess hall with a table completely laden down with hundreds of dirty bowls. The smell of potato is extra strong in here. There are yet more potato plants growing, and several of the different barracks rooms appear to have been converted into various other things. One of them seems to be a laboratory, which all the pipes and tubes and power conduits were leading into. Another section seems to have been turned into someone's personal quarters of a sort. And there's lots of crates and canisters of material all around. A disheveled-looking man wearing nothing but his underpants and a lab coat comes shuffling out of the side room that seems to have been turned into quarters, holding a bowl of mashed potato with a spoon sticking out of it. And he stares at you.
Hello there. I am Dash, and I saved the Earth from Cyan, Emperor. And this is Saul Kolev. He's a scientist. Prince Volgar, a Tiger Man, Prince as well. And Princess Lord of Sil, the forest moon of Cyan.
He stumbles forward, kicking a few empty bowls of mashed potato out the way, and pokes Dash in the chest with a dirty finger.
Yes, can I help you?
Are you real?
I mean, are any of us real?
It must be an hallucination. Only a hallucination would try my patience with philosophy.
No, I'm afraid I studied philosophy as an undergraduate at Arizona State. Don't worry, we're real, I promise.
But I think you'll find that since there is intrinsically no solution to the problem of hard solipsism, we might as well just act as if we are real.
Oddly wise for a tiger man with bloody fists. Mein Gott, you are real. Did you get my message?
We heard an SOS signal in the radiation static.
And must have boosted the signal. I dared not make it too strong in case my captors overheard, you see.
What captors are these?
Americans.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Saul is going to unholster his pistol.
What did I do?
How long have you been here?
Some years. Since the battle. Yeah.
Which battle's that?
Now you've got me. I need to make up a name for a battle.
I was just probing to see whose side he's on. Earth politics.
The Battle of Saloon. Yeah? And the Dysonian Empire met the new German fleet. Yes?
Do I know about that battle?
Yeah. So it was one of the first major battles between Earth and the Dysonian forces. After the Nazis had retro-engineered some of the rocket ships and so on, and they'd kind of joined the Allies by that point, albeit begrudgingly. And so it was a kind of volunteer hurl whatever we've got against the enemy and see what we can do. It didn't go too well because this was all, prototype spaceships and things at the time.
Okay, and these humans would have been on my side, presumably, because I'm a rebel.
Yeah, you're a rebel. Yeah.
Okay, so why were the Americans your captors? You're humans.
I think
Yeah,
he's a
then-
Nazi.
No, Swiss German. not German. I volunteered as a scientist. I wanted to experience space firsthand, and as a biologist, I wanted to probe for weaknesses in the Dysonian makeup. Instead, I found myself here.
And what are the Americans doing here?
They make me work on the Dysonian technology and produce these biomen.
Biomen?
Biomen, yes, as in biological, yeah.
Ah, all right.
When did you last see the Americans?
They are due anytime soon, so time is hard to keep track of here.
And they make you make these men that are not men.
Yeah, they bring me raw materials, and I make these men that are not men, the biomen, extracted from Dysonian technology. Many of their soldiers are not robots per se, but these. I've not quite perfected the process yet. But they take the men away and they leave me supplies, just enough to live and to produce more biomen for them. And they take the biomen away.
And so they are the cause of the potato genocide.
Was?
The potatoes, they speak of great amount of murder by these men who are not men, which you created, but you did so on the orders of the Americans.
Sprechen Sie Kartoffel?
She is from a species that communes with the plants.
He uselessly nudges one of the mashed potato bowls behind him as if he could hide his own personal potato genocide. I see. Well, are you here to rescue me?
Well, that depends.
We should be now. These Americans sound terrible.
Lord, I'm an American, and so is Saul.
Well,
It is it is worse than that. They are Italian Americans. Never trust an Italian. It's always switching sides.
They're the only people you got a problem with, Doc? So I'm slipping into another character here.
Austrians. Never liked Austrians. And the Belgians, they think they can do chocolate.
Where are the Americans hold up here?
They leave me here, trusting in the beacons and the wreckage to keep people away. but they should be back soon. We should leave. Do you
I'm
have
keeping an eye.
food on your rocket?
Yes.
Not potatoes.
No, it's a protein paste that I've devised. It's mashed
Strange.
and starchy as well.
Still different. Yeah. Let me get my things.
Well, we can't leave without dealing with these Americans.
But if we do not leave, they will return, and then they may harm us. They may harm you.
Question.
I
Question
have
for you
promised
there,
the
Air
potatoes
Doctor.
revenge.
Question for you, Air Doctor. These Italian Americans don't happen to remind you of any organized crime elements, do they?
So they could well be. From what I understand, the war is over. There are many men with certain skills and nothing to do with them.
This would prove my theory right. There are Italian Americans controlling America.
Well, if they're not blaming us, they're blaming the papists.
Of course, if you lot had any sense, you'd form yourselves a decent little monarchy. Then you wouldn't have this trouble.
Well,
Anyway.
Out of
propose that
character, I
we-
am like really Italian, just so you know.
So what was that, Simon?
propose that we stay, we deal with these Americans or Italians, whatever they are. We can't let them go unpunished for their crimes against potatoes.
Well, it's fine, but there are biomen loose in the facility who are my prison guards, and when the Americans arrive, they will doubtless have guns.
Okay, we have guns. You
We-
made these biomen.
Yeah,
Can you control them? Can they be controlled?
they can be programmed to an extent, but I am forced, obviously, to program them to obey the people who keep me captive here.
And can they be reprogrammed?
9, but new ones can be programmed differently.
Then perhaps you should stay here a while. Is there anywhere we can hide?
Most of the ship is abandoned, but most of the ship is also without air or power. You could find somewhere to hide, certainly. There are many nooks and crannies and shafts and tunnels and
I-
vents.
I don't wish to leave you here, but I feel that you may be more use here programming some of these men that are not men to deal with the Americans.
I suppose I could turn out a few, and with you here and able to fight, we may yet prevail. Yeah, I shall get to work.
So can you program them with a time delay so that they take them away and then they kill them?
In theory, yeah,
Well,
but
I don't think that's the best course of action now. We don't know where they're taking these men. I think that would be important as well.
We know that they are certainly not good men.
Well, I had my assumptions about the doctor here, and I'm still not sold one way or the other. I feel like there's something missing.
it would be better to ambush them here in force, 9.
As long as I can ask some questions.
Of course. The fellow man of science, yeah?
Yes, physicists, mostly in rockets.
Yeah. Biology and chemistry is more my field.
I figure with the two of us, we could figure out something. Can you program? I mean, they're quite resilient. I don't. Their skin is what's that made of? Some plastic substance?
It is a kind of bioplastic similar to the skin of sweet corn or cellulose.
Could you maybe not program them to kill them, but just sort of wake up and restrain them, and then just freeze?
Yeah. This could be done.
All right. If we can take them out without killing them, then we at least get answers.
I shall give them some sort of command word. Yeah.
But then how will we avenge the potatoes?
But by attacking these men when they come, which should be soon. We shall lure them into the ship and attack them with these loyal biomen.
But not kill them.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, we can see once we get our answers.
Good.
I don't think my bolt thrower has any option but to shoot to kill.
Well, that's why I'm hoping these biomen can just sort of bear hug them into submission.
All right. So we're nearly at our 2 hour halfway mark. So let's take 10-15 minutes break. And then when we come back and you've had a chance to think about it, we can ambush the space mafia.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I will just remove everyone and we will see you in 15 minutes or so.
Grim, you're muted.
Is everyone back?
I am back.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Could
Cool.
I quickly ask for help for my friend? I did post in your server. I don't know if you've seen it, but we've got people on the stream that aren't on your server.
Okay, sure.
I put it in the general channel. Basically, one of my friends has a family dog which needs surgery, and they're getting all the help that they can for it through charities, but they still need to raise £600. They haven't got any money because they spent all their money fixing their mum's wheelchair, because that's the state of things in the UK. You can get a wheelchair, but if it needs fixing, you're fucked. You've got to pay for it yourself. And you know, being on benefits and stuff, you don't really have a lot of money. So anyone that can help, they need to raise £600. So far, I've raised about 200 in the last couple of hours through me asking people to chip in. But I'm just going to post in the comments. However, I think Grim will need to approve it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gives you an option to approve it, or if I need to put it in the private chat and get you to post it.
I think I have to post it, but I've got it from
Yeah,
Discord.
there's a PayPal that will go straight to my friend. If anyone can chip in anything to help save their dog's life, I would massively appreciate it. I love dogs, and it's my friend. So 2 reasons why I'm trying to help here. I don't have £600 myself to give them, so if anyone can just chip in like a couple of pounds, couple of dollars, anything helps.
Cool. All right. Yeah, help the puppy.
Yep.
Called Socks.
Yeah, dog's called Socks. I can't post pictures in the chat on here, which is a shame, but it's a beautiful little dog.
I saw
Black
the
and white.
book.
What breed is it? Just a mutt.
It looks like a mutt. It looks half border collie and half spaniel, like based on the ears and the colouring. But
Yeah. No, I had to raise money to get a friend of mine a wheelchair, and terrified of them damaging it.
yeah, I mean,
For the same reason.
the owner of this dog, they're 19, so them paying for their mum's wheelchair to be fixed when they're on disability benefits themselves, it's not a great situation. So
No.
We'll share this around some places too, see if I can get any
I've
help for
said
you.
out and they have.
If I find it on post on
Cheers,
Facebook, then
yeah.
I'll share it with everyone on there.
Cool. Right. Meanwhile, in the game world, we are avenging potatoes rather than puppies. And the plan is, or was, before our break, which I need to take the ticker off. Yeah. To wait for the space mafia to arrive at the wreck and then ambush them with the help of some new biomen that have been churned out. Have you had any other thoughts or ways to refine the plan?
What other weaponry do we have? I was also thinking about getting back onto the ship and seeing if we can ambush them that way.
You've only really got what's on your sheets.
What kind of weaponry does this ship have?
What, this ship or your ship?
This one that we're on.
Nothing, because it's a wreck. Though then you might be able to find something if you scavenge through the decks.
Okay, so it doesn't have any like cannons or anything
No,
that could be used
No.
to target the incoming ship.
no. Your rocket does.
Yeah,
And the-
I mean,
Does our rocket have guns on it, or just the grabby arm?
You've got the grabby arm and you've got some basic bitch beam weapons.
All right.
They're
Could
called
we-
phasors, not phasers.
could we wait for them to dock and then we nick their ship and leave them here and then just shoot the airlock?
Like what we did in Star Wars.
Yep. It worked.
If it ain't broke.
If you could leave before they get here, hide your ship or hide yourselves nearby in such a way that you can approach their ship undetected when it docks, then in theory, yeah, you could take over the ship. I mean, or if they're going to dock here, you could go up to one of the abandoned levels and come down from there. Yeah, there's a lot of different approaches you could take.
Yeah, those ladders didn't look like they'd been used, so if a couple of us hid up the ladder while the rest of the crew go and hide the ship. We've got a couple of pilots here, so between me and Dash, we can fly both ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could.
All right. I
Maybe
will
not
give.
just-
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, maybe not just shoot the airlock, but completely destroy what's left of the ship.
Are we sure? We're sure these are the baddies, the Americans. There's nothing else going on here. If calling them the space mafia was the key to tip us off to just go with it, then I will.
You can be suspicious. It's fine.
These men were forcing this scientist to murder potatoes, and we should save the potatoes. We
I
should
just wanna-
somehow get them aboard the ship.
Dash is looking carefully, like furtively, at his potatoes in his bag, looking back at Lord, hides the bag.
We've got to figure out where they're taking the Gollum men. I'd like to know that, because if we just blast them all, then there's a bunch of these little pink stretchy guys out there somewhere, hopefully not doing something terrible.
Well, much the same as there's a bunch of humans out there, hopefully not doing something terrible.
You know what? I can't argue with that. But I'll take to the ship, and I'll see if I can at least once they embark onto this relic, the Hoon, then I'll try and sabotage their ship.
How long do we have before they'll arrive?
I don't know. Anytime soon. As I said, it's hard to keep track of the days here.
Do we have time to rescue the potatoes?
If you work quickly, then perhaps.
Then quick, we should load the potatoes onto our ship.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
All right. So you hurriedly empty every tray you can, and load the potatoes into crates and shuttle them back to the ship. Your cargo hold is now full of space potatoes. And then what is the plan from here? So Saul is going to go back to the Prospero and hide somewhere in the debris. Is
And
that right?
yeah, and once they've landed and are ready for their pink guy pickup, I'm gonna pull in and try and disable their ship, or at
Well,
least just grab it.
I was gonna just wait upstairs because there's ladders that no one uses, and then as soon as they've gone past, go and get in their ship and drive off with it. I bet they leave the keys in the ignition.
So Saul in the Prospero is then the backup plan in case you can't wrest control of the ship.
Yeah, if they don't leave the keys in the ignition and I can't hotwire it, then he can just grab it and pull it away because it's not like they can follow us in this thing.
Yeah.
We can just take our time getting back to wherever we're going.
So who's going back to the Prospero and who's staying on the ship to try and hijack the Mafia?
I'm gonna stay on the massive ship where the German scientist is, and I guess Lord is staying. I guess.
Well, who's gonna fly our ship?
Yeah, that's true.
I can pilot it. I did build it after all.
Okay, if you can pilot it, then that's cool. Then Dash can stay.
Mhm.
I suggest Prince Volgar goes with Saul just in case they encounter any trouble out there, so that there's at least 2 people to a ship.
Okay. So Lord and Dash are going to wait, and Volgar and Saul are going back to the Prospero and going to try and hide it.
Yep.
Okay. Right. You take up your positions. The scientist, Dr. Schwartz, elects to head to the ship.
Oh, Schwartz, why didn't you say so?
So that he's on the Prospero and can leave as soon as possible. Right. Let me see. Okay. How are you going to hide the Prospero? I mean, I'm taking it as read that you're going to hide in amongst the debris, but how else are you going to try and avoid detection?
So, can I cut the power to everything but the life support systems, or how fast would it be to fire it up after that?
Probably pretty quick.
All right, and I will use the grabby arm to drag a bunch of debris into like its general vicinity, sort of cover it up, kind of a makeshift.
Right. In which case, make a Starship Systems roll to hide the Prospero. You have a bonus of +2 for all the debris.
Six.
Okay. Okay. So it's only a few hours after you finish loading the potatoes that a sleek Italian transport rocket arrives, nosing its way carefully through the wreckage. It moves in close to the wreck of the Hoon, extends its own cargo claw, and pulls itself close and locks on to the airlock. Inside, you hear the clump and the sound of the airlock locking on, and then the equalization of pressure. And then you hear a mix of English and heavily accented English and Italian. And from your vantage point up the ladders, you get a glimpse of a few dangerous-looking men in spacesuits walking their way down the corridor, holding their helmets under their arm on one side. They move past you.
Are they like Armani spacesuits?
They're more practical spacesuits. So it's sort of working men's spacesuits.
But with
bright material.
With enormous shoulder pads tapering violently.
Yes. Spacesuit suits. One of the men is wearing a crumpled fedora that was clearly crammed into the inside of his helmet.
A lady.
Yes. All right, but they have gone past, so you can creep down.
Okay, yeah. So once we're sure that they're well into the ship, I think we'll make our move.
Okay. So, you creep down the ladder, and they've got no chance of hearing you. So yeah, you make your way back up to the airlock. Who's going in front, and what are you doing?
Jack, do you want to be the hero, or?
No, I'll be the hero. So I'll go up front.
Okay, 1 second.
And I point a thumb back at me. I'm like, who do you think you guys are after? And I point at them after that. Coming onto this ship, terrorizing a German-American scientist.
Well, you were going to creep into their rocket, right? They've already come in and gone past.
Oh, damn. My bad.
Into the interior. But
so I'm going to say that to them in reverse. So rather than saying it to them on this ship, I'm going to say it. What are you doing coming and terrorizing this German-American scientist? He's a vaunted gentleman of all...
There's no one on their ship.
Damn it.
What?
Hopefully.
Well, so Dash goes in front. You cycle through the airlock, open it up on the other side. You hit with a smell of cigar smoke. And on the opposite side of the airlock, sat on a seat that's bolted to the wall, is a guy looking at a centerfold in a Spicy Tales magazine. Without looking up, he goes, "Oh, back already, huh?"
So I'm going to use my ability to bring my weapon to bear faster than the eye can see as a free action and blast a hole in his head.
Does Lord have like plant pheromones she can use as well?
Well, if he doesn't have a head, then we don't need to do that.
Okay. He's got no defense, so just make an attack roll.
-1 on the dice. It's guns, isn't it? Is it guns?
Yeah. Guns.
So 2.
Okay, but that's still a hit because he's got no defense. +4 damage for a total of 6. -1 for his spacesuit. 5. He is a mook. And they only have 2 health in this case. So yeah, faster than anyone can react or even see, you unsling your bowslinger and fire a huge bolt of green plasma into the man at point blank range. It burns through the magazine, through the centerfold, and blazes away the top part of his body, his head down to his shoulders. Two smouldering stumps of his arms fall off either side, and the air is filled with the smell of bacon. On the opposite side of him, the bulkhead, sizzles and glows white for a moment, quickly turning red and cooling.
We better get out of here.
Yep, let's go.
Do either of you read Italian?
I
With a
doubt it.
name like Villard, I don't think so. Maybe French. Maybe French, but not Italian.
Okay.
I only speak Galactic Standard, which obviously is English.
If we had Tay with us, I bet she could read it.
Probably, but you don't.
Yep.
Let me see. Okay, well, figuring out, spaceships are pretty similar. It would be a Starship Systems roll, but you don't have that. So just roll. Yeah, just roll. It's a straight roll.
Will pilot not make a difference?
Okay. Yeah, you can add pilot.
Zero.
And what did Dash get?
Let's see. I got a 1.
Okay. It takes you a while with a couple of, false turns and so on. But eventually you manage to get yourselves turned around the right way and burst onto the bridge. There is a pilot there waiting for you with his blaster unholstered.
Could I, again, quick draw?
Yep. So that will mean you go first.
So I got 2 on an attack roll.
Okay. He got 3, so he hurls himself aside as you unsling your bolt slinger and fire. You didn't do really badly, so you don't burn a hole through a porthole or anything. But the stray bolt does incinerate the radar station. There's a huge shower of sparks and flames.
Could I spend any fate points to change that?
To change that, yeah. Let's see. Looking at your sheet, can shoot the balls off a Dracofly from half a mile away would work.
Yep.
Okay, so that would take you from a 2 to a 4, which would be enough to hit by 1. So that'll be 1 plus the damage for the bolt slinger was 4, so that would take it to 5 damage minus 1 from his armor. 4, dropping it to 2. Okay, so retcon. So yeah, as you come in, he turns and starts to level his blaster at you, but you manage to get your bow slinger up to your shoulder and fire before he can depress the trigger. He is hit full in the chest with the bolt and hurled back against the bulkhead and the view screen with his torso on fire. He is done for. But the controls and so on are still all labeled in Italian, so you're not really sure which button will disengage the airlock. But you can make a pilot roll to try and figure it out.
Okay.
And Dash can either of you can. So.
Yep, I will pilot because I'm not doing anything in session, so I'll pilot.
But both of you can roll to figure out which control it is.
I rolled a 0.
Okay. You have no
I
idea.
rolled a 3.
Okay. You know exactly which switches and buttons it is.
So seeing that the Dash wants to fly it, I'll just point out the different buttons.
Right. So there was a plunk as the rocket disengages from the airlock. The rest of the controls are fairly intuitive. So you hit the jets and back the rocket away from the Hulk.
Can I just check that we're actually in communication with each other so that we don't blast them out of the sky?
Yeah, you've got radios in your suits. So
I think there's actually a name for that in Flash Gordon, like a radio phone or space radio.
Something like that. Okay. Now what?
Oh, well, someone's going to need to man the cannons and blast that Space Hulk out of the sky.
Wait, isn't Dr. Schwartz still on there?
No,
I
he
thought
came
he
on
was-
board with us.
He went on the Prospero with you.
Oh, okay, right.
So you can
Okay.
combine the forces of your two rockets and use your pew-pews to burn
Yeah.
up this wreck.
So there'll be a
it
weapon
is-
for all?
You've got as much time as you want, really.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you've got weak pew-pews on both rockets, but by concentrating your fire, you can at least burn out the section that the Mafia guys are going to be in. So yeah, the space is full of molten blobs of metal and scorched Italian-American corpses.
I'm floating here.
Hey, forget about it. All right. So, but now what?
Well, where is home?
Can we... I just wanted to get on board the Italian vessel to see if there's any kind of anything. Well, we might as well just go home, figure that out, wherever home is. I think it's...
You're probably based in New York or something. Manhattan Spaceport or something like that.
All right.
We better not let them know that the Italian American people got killed by us.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
you
the Brooklyn.
you can take both rockets home. They're both capable of flying in atmosphere. So yeah, you jet your way back to Earth, re-enter the atmosphere in a blaze of fire, and land tail down in the Manhattan Spaceport, floating just off the island.
Is there an off-planet spaceport where we can quickly file the serial numbers off of this new ship and maybe give it a respray?
Wouldn't
Well,
that
you
be
have been doing
fun?
anti-piracy actions, so you can just claim that they were pirates.
That
Sorry,
works.
Neil, what were you trying to say?
I had a lore LORE question. I assume I infer that there's some kind of universal Earth authority government structure, or
There was the Alliance, but that's kind of broken down a bit. There is the United Nations, but everything's pretty tense.
so it matters who we take this guy to. This scientist.
Yeah, potentially.
Does the Soviet
Not the-
Union exist?
Yes, the Soviet Union exists.
Yeah, we can't take him to the Americans. They're the bad guys. They were
Well-
killing the potatoes.
Well, I had thought not all Americans act like these. Americans were American criminals, I think.
Hey, we can make
Well,
generalizations.
I'm all packed. I
about
should get off the ship and make my way to the Swiss consulate. Thank you very much for saving me.
Oh, we're going to get him to the Swiss. Okay, I see.
Maybe we should report in with the local authorities just to check. You
The
don't have a problem with
American
that, Doctor.
authorities?
No,
Yeah.
no problem.
All right. Yeah. I guess whoever's the space police when we land. I want to
Interstellar
report.
Patrol.
Yeah, I'll report the incident.
Not the
'Cause,
space police wearing Hugo Boss, though.
Was probably like the local port authority equivalent. So yeah, that'd be American national sort of law enforcement, really. But you've been working for the League of Planets, so are you going to report it as piracy, that you dealt with the pirates and salvaged the ship?
Doctor, are you comfortable with us, reporting just what happened? They were forcing you, of course, to make these men. It wasn't your choice.
The sooner I can leave the ship and get some steak is the better for me.
All right. Then I'm gonna report it honestly, unless anybody else has any objections.
We get to keep the ship, though, right?
Technically, yeah. Or you could hand it in and get the reward for it.
I mean, we could, but it seems a nice ship.
It's actually slightly better than the Prospero. At least it will be after a bit of work.
Let's salvage the parts and put it onto the Prospero.
It's an Air Toro Mark 1. Aspects: Italian style, hardened shielding, sleek and swift, and the claw. It has maneuver 3, ship systems 1, cargo hold 2, grappling system 2, salvage system 3. It has an ex-military beam cannon on it for +3, so much better than your laser, and an energy shield. It is rated for atmospheric entry and can salvage hazardous cargo.
So we should probably take this back and go and get that uranium.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
After you get the controls translated.
I do have another idea. Lord, can you ask the potatoes if they would be willing to cooperate in an experiment?
What kind of experiment?
Well, you see, potatoes have a large amount of energy. Well, a small amount of energy, but we have so many of these potatoes that I'm wondering if I could use my scientific invention ability to cobble together a potato engine. I don't know how Gonzo we're going here.
That would be more of a long-term project.
Okay.
With enough potatoes.
Well, I mean, you could disintegrate potatoes by rendering them to their subatomic parts for power, the same as you can other things, but they're not particularly good at that, and it does have the disadvantage of killing the potato. You might be able to extract their vril energy somehow, but that seems like a more long-term project. You have kind of bypassed Act 4 by murdering everybody. So I'm afraid that's actually probably going to be the end of the session.
We've really got to... Well, I don't want to say stop doing it because it's working, but it's making our game shorter.
But yeah, so what eventually happens as a result of your actions or inactions is that the mafia aligns itself with Batista to take over Cuba, but with the aid of an army of biomen, they were able to later stop the Cuban Revolution from happening. So it remains a mafia/dictatorship policed by biomen. So yeah, that's fun. But yeah, otherwise, I'm afraid that's an early end to the session because you were cunning and yet murderous.
Short term.
Yeah. So I hope you had fun despite the relative shortness of the game.
It was fun.
It was good.
Yeah. So next week is T-shirts, Darwin's World game, which starts earlier, I think. Starts at 7. That's be over on T-shirted Historian's channel. Don't know where he was tonight. Hope he's okay. See if I can get a hold of him. And the week after that, we will be playing Airship Pirates.
Awesome. Is that
Um,
the D6 version or the original system?
It's the Ubiquity one, I
Okay,
think.
so I think that's the original one.
Yeah. So it was written in cooperation with the band Abney Park, who were kind of dicks to me when I reviewed this a long time ago. Them and their fans, but we'll try not to let it bias us. And yeah,
I
so
always
it's kind
like
of
post-apocalyptic time travel games, so yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of a steampunk, clockpunk thing with airships and swashbuckling and daring do. So that's what we'll be playing next time I'm running a game.
Awesome. I'll be there.
Thanks for joining me, Ladles and Jelly Spoons. And yeah, we'll see you later. Help the puppy. I will post the link again.
Thank you, Grim.
There we go. Help the puppy. Just a pound or two. Every little helps. Subscribe to this channel as well as my other channel. I know it's on 420 subscribers right now, so feel free to blaze up, but do it quickly. And let's get this channel subscriptions up. All right. Adieu. Thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Take care.